Ready? Yeah, we're on.
Ready.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Hey, everybody, welcome to Scene Stealer, Take a Bow with Finishing, a panel in the Printiverse at Print 18. Thanks for people in the booth who have decided to spend your time with us, and for everyone at home watching on Facebook and YouTube, hello, print long and prosper. Finishing is so topical. We have kind of a real gamut of finishing solutions here. One, we don't know if it's a finishing solution or a printing solution. It comes up a lot. But let's start off with adphos. Who are you? What do you do? And sticking with the theme of this show, how does adphos help print businesses grow?
Hi, so my name is John Palazzolo.
John, you can take the mic out, and it's easier for everybody.
Is that a little better?
The sound guy will let you know. But
the sound guy will let me know.
Okay.
He can crank me up if he needs to. So adphos, what we do is we basically enable printers to use thermal technology. By thermal technology, I'm talking about light technology to accelerate their processes to make them better. So for example, one of our customers has an HP press and they wanted to run higher speeds on glossier stocks. So they took the adphos drying technology, integrated it into their HP press, and now are running, depending on the job and the substrate, 2 to 3 times faster.
So drying is finishing?
It can be. It is usually a part of the process. So a lot of times people will use our technology and actually integrate it as part of other processes involved in finishing. So someone, for example, may be putting some inkjet on a material that was already pre-printed, and as part of the finishing process where they're using their folder, they might have inkjet actually on the folder, and so we will dry it on the folder.
Thanks so much. Fastbind. One of my first Alliance members. Kent, who are you, what do you do, and how does Fastbind help print businesses grow?
Right. Hello, I'm Kent Alzell with Fastbind USA. Fastbind, we represent our factory in Finland who manufactures case making and perfect binding and photo bookbinding systems. So we're really the final touch of the finished product before it's sold to the customer or shipped to the end user. So our products are manufactured to enable small, medium-sized, and very large-sized print shops to take the beautiful printing that some of these other technologies will allow them to do and package it into a format that's sellable. Okay?
Right.
Well, let's say popular and sellable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So photo books, school yearbooks, different types of products that I really take that finished print and hand it out to the client who then either uses it or then resells it depending on the chain that they go through.
You should have been on our panel just a moment ago. We were talking about productizing print, and it's pretty much what your customers do. They take sheets of ink on paper and they use your technology to create something else sellable.
Yeah, if you think about it, you take all the print out of the printer and it's just sheets, and the value is how much did that ink cost. Am I going to hand out how many flyers? But if you put it into a package, you increase the amount of profit you can make on an individual book versus a number of sheets.
And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention we are filming. So Klaus, wave your hand. He's got the camera. I know you want to look at me because I'm asking you questions, but let's make sure that the people at home get to see your glorious face there. Speaking of glorious faces, one of my favorite faces to look at, Ellen Manning, Eagle Systems, the foil experts. How are you helping print businesses make money, and who are you and what do you do?
Okay. My name is Ellen Manning. I am the Vice President of Marketing and Sales for Eagle Systems, and we are a machine manufacturer that manufactures foiling equipment, hot foil stamping equipment, and cold foil. Cold foil has become extremely big in the industry in the last 6 or 7 years, and we are just delighted with it. And this gentleman right here called me up last week and said, look, we're on a panel together. I know you have a ton of paper from the people that have your equipment. Send me some, and I'll see what I could do with it. And look what he did. He made a book cover out of it, which I think is fantastic.
I think it's fantastic that the Alliance made an alliance behind my back. I love that stuff. How cool is that? The Alliance made their own alliance.
But this is what makes this product cool. You can do this whole process in line on a printing press. Years ago, you can only foil offline in a separate department. Now, with the use of cold foil, it's an attachment to an offset press, and it lays it down in line, and then you print on top of it any color you want, and you can change the colors. You use silver foil, and you can print on top of it again in any color. It adds pizzazz to your printing. And they did a research paper recently. They held a group together and gave them glasses like I'm wearing, and in the corners were cameras. And they put them out into a marketplace in a store, and they said, go look at what's on the shelves. And they recorded that the first thing that they looked at were things that had foil on it. So I know we're in the right place at the right time. And this will make any product, any brand product, any booklet, any brochure, anything at all really pop off the shelf. That's what our product does, and it's helping people generate more money, open more markets, and be happier.
Happier is always good. So, differentiation is a word that's getting thrown around a lot, and I'm guilty of it too. I need to be different. I mean, there's aliens in here. That makes it different, even if it just makes somebody look for a moment. There still needs to be substance behind it. But if the aliens are enough to differentiate and make people look, I've done my job. But when it comes to products and services, if I want to differentiate, and I have to assess a technology purchase in that process, when is the right time to engage with you? Do I need to back something in to your technology, or do you need how upfront involved in my decisions do you need to be? John, do you want to start?
Sure. Thanks, Deborah. So,
And maybe you can explain who you sell to. Maybe that might help.
I sell to anybody who's profitable.
Oh,
so,
there you
so we have a very diverse go-to-market strategy. So our partners are people like Hewlett-Packard and Kodak and Screen and other people who are manufacturers of inkjet presses, for example. But we also sell to the end users. So any commercial printer who is looking forward to accelerating their processes, making it more streamlined, making it more cost effective. So we sell to OEMs, like I said, like the big companies, but also directly to commercial printers. So it goes back to your question again, which was about
what is the right time to engage with you? If I'm going to have a technology purchase to differentiate myself, when do I have to start talking to you?
Well, I think everybody would say that the sooner the better. However, we certainly have times where people will, for example, they bought their inkjet press, and now they decide that they want to do something different with it than what they had originally purchased it for, run on higher gloss substrates, do things like that. So sometimes then they'll engage with us after the fact and say, okay, I've got this piece of hardware, I need you to put your technology into it. That's always more difficult than if you do it up on the front end.
You're talking about backing a technology in.
Backing it in, yes.
Yeah.
So
But-
sooner the better, but we can go either way.
I mean, some press finishing has to be backed into the presses, right? Jamie the printer, or yeah, maybe that's Jamie the printer. Kent, when is I'm a printer and I don't have any business that's doing any binding, and I want to make a technology purchase, but I don't know what to do. Do I just buy the binder and in your system and figure it out, or do I engage with you?
Well, mainly we're at the very end of the process. What you have is you have a technology purchase that drives your main business, the big laser printer or inkjet printer that you purchased, and then you try to find different additional ways to increase your revenue from that source. So then you'll engage myself or someone in the business that sells binding equipment and say, how can I monetize this same thing I'm doing every day, but to a new audience or in a different way? And that's where we come in. So they can personalize the product, again, package it into something that someone else sees value in, and utilize the same technology. There are some issues that you might want to decide early on if that's part of your game plan, so that you make sure you have the right technology to take advantage of that. But at the end of the day, primarily we're at the very end of the finishing process. This is additional equipment that people bring in to increase their revenue streams, mainly because they're getting squeezed on the traditional commercial
Right.
work that everyone else can do, and they're trying to find ways that they can make a different product that is both profitable and grows their market.
And in that those discussions, how much training and education is needed on your products when it's something that could literally be added at the end is literally as an added value?
Yeah. Well, it's one of the strengths of Fastbind is that we have developed products for the small to medium run market. And that's not to say that it's a small shop, it's generally the opposite. It's generally a very, very large shop, but they're adding on incremental business. It might be Christmas cards in December, it might be flyers with foil printing at certain times of the year, and they're adding 10 or 15% capacity to their existing equipment by making books. So they're not really a publisher, they're not really doing only books, but they're able to take the infrastructure they have, the technology they have, and increase their profits by adding finishing systems.
Right.
So but what we do is we make these systems designed specifically for the level of skills that are found in a print shop. Good and important folks, but they don't have a deep knowledge. They don't have 20 or 30 years of experience in binding.
Right.
So the systems enable them to use excess labor, whoever's available to make these products, because in the short run world, you need to make 16 today, 400 tomorrow, none for a week, and you have to move your labor around consistently.
Ellen, you're a little different because you're actually a manufacturer, so there are certain specs that your
Right.
presses, your equipment fits on. So are you a back-end solution or a upfront solution?
I would say that we are an upfront solution. We tell everyone that it takes approximately 18 weeks for us to manufacture this product. We come down to the company, we look over their printing press, we look over their building, we check the heights, because we not only build the machine that does the foiling, we also build the cranes that deliver the foil to the machine, and we build other ancillary things for that, for it to be very, very easy for the company to use. A lot of times we're finding now that these companies are being asked for cold foil from the companies that are requesting printing. So now they want it tomorrow. Well, if they should have ordered it a year ago, they would have had it right away, but now they want it immediately, as fast as they can get it. This allows a lot of companies also to bring foiling in-house. Many commercial printers sent their work out to be foiled in a trade finishing company. And now they're seeing that bringing foiling in-house has enabled them to do a quicker turnaround for their customers, expand their business because now they have something else to offer, and also change from just commercial to maybe packaging.
Right.
Because packaging is all about the bling, and that's what foil is, and cold foil is just that way. So I would say that today is the time you need to think about what it is you want in your future, considering the lead time that is necessary for this product.
I mean, as my friend Trish Wachowski says, start with finishing. I don't know if you remember from last year, but Jamie the printer is back. Jamie works at Princeton. Oh my God, Allegra Princeton. I will get it right. I am so sorry. This gentleman is killing me. He's heard me said it wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry. Allegra Princeton. I'm going to write it down. Jamie has a plethora of equipment in his shop, and he is here specifically to listen to these panels and ask questions because he's a real printer. As well, he knew the panel topics, so he has been gathering questions at home and from fellow employees and pressmen and people like that. So in many ways, Jamie would be asking a question that any of your potential customers would, or anyone potentially walking into your booth. So it's also a great opportunity to hear what the people out there are really thinking. With that long preamble, Jamie, I certainly hope you do have a question. Sorry, sound guy, I forgot to tell you about that.
They don't know his name
There we go.
either. No?
Nope. Okay, that one's on. Sound guy, substitution, love it. well-oiled AV
Hello?
team.
Yes, okay. Ellen, I have a question for you, more for your company.
Okay.
Based on you said 18 weeks to get it in, is there any certain press sizes that you, is it only 40 inch, 29 inch? Is there?
The smallest press we will do, we do it on offset presses.
Yes,
so the
offset
smallest press would be a 29 inch.
Okay.
And the largest would be an 80 inch.
Okay, all right, yeah, because we have
So that's
29
why we
inch, so I
need
was
to
wondering
measure,
about that.
right.
And you need an extra unit, not just 4 color, you need a 5th or 6th.
Well, I would not put it on anything less than a 6 color.
Okay.
I know many people have come into our booth and discussed cold foiling with us. Because you need 2 towers to do the process, you need 1 tower for glue and 1 tower to foil. That eliminates 2 inking towers, which means that if you have a job and you need 4 color press, if you don't have 4 colors after those 2, you have to run it through twice, and that's not the way to do this. So honestly, we won't sell to somebody unless they have a 6 color press.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Yep.
S- that's-
We're so prone to making sure that everybody's happy with our products. And I know that if they had to run it through twice, eventually they would say, this is way too much for me. And actually, they would have registration problems. It's not worth it. It really is worth it to do it the right way, which is 6 towers or more. But let me just make this clear. If you are not foiling, you put your inks back in all of the towers and you have your 6 color press back. Only when foiling, you lose those 2 towers.
Thank you. I have a question for Ken at Fastbind.
Please, yes.
I was looking, you had a new case-bound machine. Is it something like it was desktop or it's smaller? I wasn't quite sure.
Sure.
It sounds like something
yeah.
like a quick print, somebody that does a lot of quick turnarounds, something that would fit well.
Yes, actually, we just introduced it at the Print 18 show as our new A46A. It's a semi-automatic case-making system. So traditionally, we've been a manual operation and lower-cost tabletop products, and this is the first time we've come up with a semi-automatic model. So the intent is that the operator has a faster operation, a little easier operation, fits well into the higher production environments. It's not that it's that much faster, it's just that it's easier to go a lot longer. So if you look at a bigger shop that might do 200 or 300 or 400 books a day, the ease and the usability of the machine in a semi-automatic operation is a lot more conducive to the operator not getting exhausted. But it's just, and it's still in a short-run world. You're still going to do spot jobs. Okay, they're just larger.
Yeah, it looked interesting. I just wanted to learn a little bit more about it. Okay.
And also, did you mention the PUR EVA thing? Because that's kind of revolutionary, right?
I'd like to say revolutionary, but it's a smart way of applying the needs of our customer base. So if you think about it, and this is, and I'm not getting into the weeds because it could take forever, but EVA glue and binding is the standard kind of glue is used every single day in about 90% of the binders in the world. PUR has traditionally been used only in trade binderies. They're extremely expensive machines, very difficult to maintain, a lot of work has to be done on them. But that market has changed considerably. The trade binderies are going and closing. Companies are bringing in this technology into their workshops. You need PUR for difficult stocks to actually glue bind really well. It comes with a lot of complications. It takes a lot of time to dry. You have to clean the machines out. So we developed a machine that can do both, or in this case, either. You can use EVA when you need to, use PUR when you have to. And it allows a medium-sized shop to get into the PUR world, but still maintain the ability to have a quick turnaround, very quick dry time of the EVA without the cost of a really large PUR system. So our PUR EVA, which is called the PurEva XT, allows you to do hard covers, soft covers, bind with PUR, but bind with EVA when you can.
Is that good? Oh, look,
Thanks.
the
Thanks,
printers are very happy about that. John, your technologies, you're always my like black sheep up here. You know, it's like your stuff actually helps everybody, but doesn't necessarily have a direct reachable connection to people sitting right here. Although everybody benefits from it. With that being said, and I know I always get into this crazy conversation with you, which is, why are we putting so much water in ink if it's a problem that requires a whole other process to dry it? But putting that to the side, where are we going in your world? Like, what research and development is adphos doing that will ultimately trickle down to the printers in the audience?
It's a great question, Deb. So we've been working very, very closely. You know, in the world today, as you look around, you'll see a lot of different UV type devices that are printing on packaging and different materials. And there's a lot going on right now in the ink space. Technologically, what people are doing today, if you go to our Cal Collins, for example, who's one of our partners, they're actually with water-based inkjet printing on plastic films at high speeds. And we are part of that enablement to do that. So within the
Wait,
chemistry,
that literally sounds impossible.
it does sound impossible.
They're printing on plastic with inkjet.
With water-based inkjet.
You would think it would just run off.
Correct.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just needed to
No, that's-
absorb that for a second because I was like,
that's-
what did he just say? Okay.
That's absolutely right. And then actually Jamie the printer asked me a question about, oh, well, you know, you're talking a lot about inkjet. What about conventional printing? Do you ever have someone, you know, that you can help with conventional printing? And we actually had a large customer come to us who had a very specific application that they were wanting to do. But they needed some more drying horsepower on their conventional press in order to get this application to work. And so because of the nature of our technology and the size of it and how we were able to integrate it directly into their offset press, they were able to get that incremental new business. It is conventional printing, but they needed more drying horsepower than their conventional system had available.
So, Kent, I feel bad because you just launched a new product here, but what's next for Fastbind? I'm not even going to let you have a second before, but I'm sure with a company such as yours, you're always looking forward.
Well, that's correct. And quite honestly, I had breaking news here at the Printer Universe.
I love
Yes.
exclusives,
So
people.
besides our brand new case making system, we have announced at this show
Look at the camera.
a brand new product.
Tell the people at home.
A brand new product. It's called our casing in sheet. It's kind of revolutionary for our company because normally we make our own machines and we make supplies just for those machines. We have now released a product that allows anyone with a perfect binder, whether it's a standard or a Duplo or a Morgana, a very expensive machine, to make hard covers with the binder they've already purchased, not purchasing my binder. So we have a system, of course, which is one of the
Wow.
reasons we brought out that brand new case maker, is so that these larger print shops can use the existing technology they have, bind the product with our new end sheet, and then make a hardcover. So it's a departure for us, but it makes sense. There's a lot of people out there that have already invested in technology and big softcover perfect binders. None of those machines can make a hardcover, so it's strictly that. And they'd like to bring that into their world, like to offer that as a product, and we can now supply them with both the supplies they need for their big machine,
Right.
their big perfect binder, as well as the ability to bring in-house the custom case making. So that's the first time you've seen it here. It'll be right here at this show.
I admire that so much, and I say to printers all the time, you know, you don't always have to go for the land grab. Sometimes there are things that people are already doing and they think they're perfectly happy the way that they're doing it, but you can enhance or help them or add one thing to that. And that one thing is enough to create something new for them, to them maybe even investing more in your company, but at least you're willing to develop products and services that don't utilize or don't require only your equipment, and I really admire that. I also admire the fact that you guys invent your own equipment and your own processes. And Eagle, I believe you manufacture in the United States. I wasn't sure, so that's why I was like mumbled a little for a second there. But what you guys are always working on something. I'm sure you can't talk about it all, but if you'd like to share some stuff, that would be awesome.
Well, we do manufacture our own equipment. We design, manufacture, install, service. We do it all, our own stuff. In the past 2 years, we came out with a special cold foil process for uncoated stock. No one has been able to do that except us, and now we've gotten it even further. Last year, we brought out Foil Cure, which is a really, really shiny cold foiler. It's another new process. And now we just came out with a new machine for very large packaging companies that are doing very, very long runs. And we're now being able to do a 30,000 millimeter roll of foil all at one time, which we have never done before. So that's going to take these different companies, it's going to cut their time in how long it takes them to produce what they're doing. We're still in the process of completing the design, but everything is going to be brought out probably by the next big show that we do. What we do is we do a lot of R&D. So we don't just make machinery, we always look to up the process and bring more value to the people who actually buy it.
So final question here, we'll go a little quickly. What are the types of conversations that you're hoping to have at this show? Ellen?
I think from listening to the people that have already been in my booth, everyone is looking for something new to expand their business, whether it be in publications, whether it be in packaging, whether they're a commercial printer, something new. And Kent made this for me, and I keep looking at this because we just installed a machine at a publishing house in England that does only magazines and catalogs. And I have wanted that for so long. The next time you go to anywhere that sells magazines, I want you to look at all of them as you walk by. What jumps out at you? Not very much, because all the covers are not printed with foil, they're just printed. But if you get one magazine that has a cover that looks like this, your eye is going to go here first.
You
you're
usually
gonna
only
pick
see
it
those
up.
like special editions,
Right.
limited editions, and people do totally gravitate to those.
Well, now this publishing house is so gung-ho, they're going to start printing all their covers in all their
Very
magazines.
cool.
So I am delighted. But everybody wants something different to capture the rest of the customers out there,
Right.
help their people capture new customers.
Thanks
that's
so
what-
much, Ellen, and thanks so much for being a partner and part of the Printerverse since day one. Kent, what are the kind of conversations that you're hoping to have here if you're not having them already?
Well, one of the great things for us at a show like this is it's really important for our customers to walk in and physically see with their own eyes how these processes go and how things are made.
simple they are.
And how that is, because it's a mystery, and then you see it and you realize that it's absolutely so simple that you don't know why in the world you hadn't done this before. And what that does is it gets them to the point where they say, okay, now I know I can make it. How can I make money with it? What can I do? What other things can I do with it, and how can I go back and plan on that? So this is really important for us at a show like this. Sometimes we'll have 10, 15 people looking at one of our guys making a cover, and in 30 or 40 seconds they've made a hardcover, and you can literally watch their eyes go, oh, okay, I can do that. Now, how can I add that to my business? So it's really important for us physically to have folks come in our booth. And then we're able to show them all the other products that they can make and expand into. Custom 3-ring binders and different kinds of coil or YRO covers, different things that they can package. Again, very similar to what they're doing today, but package it in a way that their customers find value. That's really the value we bring.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Johnny P.
Thank you. So the conversations that we like having are, what are your processes? What are you doing? How are you doing it? And are there ways that we can make your processes either streamlined, make them faster? Because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to figure out how can we get the stuff in and out as quickly as we can. So we like to really look at processes, because we can usually almost always find a way to increase and to improve that process to make commercial printers more profitable.
Thank you so much for your time, panelists, and for people in attendance in the booth, thank you so much. Everybody watching at home, thank you for your time. We will be back in 15 minutes with Pulp Function, printed electronics, security, and the Internet of Print. I'd like to remind everybody that if you've missed any panels or want to watch any, they will be available. They're available on YouTube right now in a Print 18 playlist, I believe. Certainly on Print Media Center's Facebook page, and you can access them every time, anytime at this point. Thank you so much, and we will be